What if I told you that the future of green energy might not be controlled by Elon Musk or European climate alliances, but by an Australian iron ore billionaire you've probably never heard speak? Meet Andrew Twiggy Forrest, the founder of Fortescue Metals Group and the visionary behind a multi-billion-dollar bet on green hydrogen, renewable power, and global energy disruption. This isn't just about sustainability, it's about reshaping power, both electrical and geopolitical. In a world scrambling for climate solutions, Forrest is aiming to position Australia at the center of a trillion-dollar transformation. His plan? Fortescue Future Industries, or FFI, a bold, ambitious spin-off meant to become a global green energy powerhouse. It's Forrest's secret weapon, one he claims will outpace big oil, Silicon Valley, and traditional energy giants combined. But how realistic is this vision? And more importantly, who benefits if he's right? To understand Forrest's play, we need to understand his journey. Originally an iron ore magnate, he built Fortescue Metals from the ground up into one of the world's largest mining companies. But unlike many in the resource sector, Forrest isn't settling for extraction profits. In fact, he's going all in on the energy transition, redirecting billions in mining wealth into clean technologies. This isn't philanthropy, it's long-term wealth protection. Forrest sees the future where fossil fuel giants will collapse and clean energy monopolies will replace them. In his own words, green hydrogen is the oil of the future, and he's positioning Fortescue to own the pipelines, the plants, and the patents. So what exactly is Fortescue Future Industries? Launched in 2020, FFI is a renewable energy subsidiary with a single mission: to produce green hydrogen at scale, using only water, solar, and wind. Not blue hydrogen, not gray, pure green hydrogen. Why is that important? Because unlike fossil fuels or even traditional renewables, green hydrogen can power everything: cars, planes, steel mills, fertilizer plants, without carbon emissions. And while companies like Shell, BP, and Saudi Aramco dabble in it, FFI is betting everything. We're talking billions in electrolyzer tech, ammonia export hubs, and wind-solar hybrid megafarms. The scale is massive. Forrest has pledged to deliver 15 million tons of green hydrogen per year by 2030. That's more than the entire global output today. It's audacious, it's high risk, and it could put Australia at the center of the global green supply chain. But it's not just about technology, it's about geopolitics. Forrest is leveraging Australia's vast deserts, coastlines, and political neutrality to supply green energy to Asia, Europe, and potentially even the US. He's already signed MOUs with Germany, Japan, and the UK, and is working on setting up hydrogen corridors with Singapore and South Korea. Why does this matter? Because energy independence is the new global currency. With wars in Ukraine, tensions in the South China Sea, and oil markets in chaos, green hydrogen becomes a stabilizing export. And Forrest is offering not just the product, but the infrastructure: ships, ports, and even entire hydrogen-powered fleets. Now let's talk strategy. Forrest isn't doing this alone. He's hiring top talent from Tesla, GE, and the US Department of Energy. He's investing in electrolyzer factories, partnering with Siemens, and acquiring battery startups. He's even built a prototype green train and green truck fleet to prove hydrogen's scalability in transport. And here's the kicker: FFI is already delivering green ammonia from Australia to Germany in pilot shipments. The supply chain is no longer theory. It's real, it's operational, and it's scaling. Forrest isn't waiting for governments or climate conferences. He's building a parallel energy empire, privately, quickly, and globally. Of course, critics are circling. Some say Forrest is overpromising, that hydrogen tech is unproven at scale, that the infrastructure costs are astronomical. And they're not wrong. Green hydrogen is expensive, roughly 2 to 5 times the cost of fossil fuels per unit of energy. Electrolyzers are finicky, storage is complex, and no country has a stable, profitable green hydrogen grid yet. But Forrest has an answer. His strategy is not to compete with oil immediately, it's to build first-mover advantage, to create supply ahead of demand, and to be the go-to supplier when prices drop due to scale and global urgency. It's the Amazon model of green energy. Build now, profit later. And the financials? Forrest isn't just spending his own billions. Fortescue is issuing green bonds, securing government subsidies, and tapping into ESG investment flows. The market for sustainable assets is now in the trillions, and investors are hungry for scalable, clean tech infrastructure. Forrest is packaging FFI not just as a mining company going green, but as the Tesla of hydrogen, a bold bet that clean fuels can be profitable, global, and fast. And the capital markets are listening. What does this mean for investors, for governments, and for you? First, it means that the next trillion-dollar clean energy company may not be based in Silicon Valley or the Middle East, but in the Australian outback. Second, it signals that billionaires are no longer just hedging with renewables. They're betting the empire. And third, it shows that power is shifting, not just from coal to solar or gas to wind, but from traditional institutions to bold, private players who move faster than legislation. If Forrest is right, Australia becomes a clean energy superpower. If he's wrong, it's a $5 billion lesson in ambition. But if he even gets halfway there, Fortescue could become the Saudi Aramco of green hydrogen. So the question remains, is Andrew Forrest a climate visionary, a speculative capitalist, or a little bit of both? What's undeniable is that Fortescue Future Industries isn't just an idea anymore. It's a functioning energy startup backed by mining money, political access, and global ambition. And if even part of it succeeds, the energy world might have to rewrite its maps, with Perth, not Riyadh or Palo Alto, at the center. This is the kind of disruption that creates new empires, the kind of story that makes the ultra-wealthy even wealthier, and the kind of moment where early insight into the right company, the right trend, or the right market can mean generational wealth. So pay close attention to Fortescue Future Industries, because what starts as a billion-dollar play in the Australian desert might just power the world.